So we got a short one today. It is a little bit after 6 in the morning Central Time. We're going to have a circuit that's going to actually hit the body in multiple ways. Something I want to share with you all that I think you'll enjoy. Something to supercharge your morning, and something that hopefully you can use when you're short in time and you just want to get a good total body burn. So let's get started. I already got my watch going. We're going to go ahead and start with the first exercise. We're going to go in and do a push-up into a step-over raise. You can do this with weights or without. So I'm going to do without weights to start and actually warm up. Let's go ahead and do it from this angle here. So you do the push-up, and then you step over, reach towards the sky, and then right back to the opposite side after your push-up. Okay, here we go. That's 1, and then this is 2. And 2, and 3, and 3, and 4, and 4, and 5, and 5. Great way to warm up the body. And 6, and 6, and 7, and 7. It's almost like a dance. If you go nice and slow, you're really going to feel the muscle contractions a lot more. You get the core involved, a little bit of legs, obviously mostly pushing. So mostly upper. 1 and 1 left. And we got it. Back to the push-up. All right. Hey, all right. We're starting to get some people jumping in. How's it going? Good morning. It's Coach Greg saying hello on Titan Tuesday. So next up, we have our lower body. Feel free to grab some weights. Since we're just warming up, I'm going to go lighter. So I'm going to start with side position here. Step back a little bit, come out in the front a little bit. We have our lunge, pulse, lunge. So I'm going to go down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Important thing, I kind of stepped a little bit early on that one at the end, but important thing is to keep the torso nice and upright. So don't lean, at least for this one. Not that a lean isn't effective for something else, because it is. You actually end up working more of the glutes if you lean forward, but we're focused on kind of a more even and neutral burn for the legs. Okay, we got them. That's 2. Number 3 is going to be our pulse plank. So this one we're going to get on our forearms. We're going to basically bridge up a little bit and then come back down. Bridge up and come back down. For time, I used to have a stopwatch. I didn't bring it. So we're just going to do a number. I'm going to do 30 of these pulses. By the way, hello everybody. Feel free to pop in the chat, say hello. Let me know if you have any questions that are related to health and fitness. Obviously, that's what we're here for. Feel free to throw a thumbs up, follow, and notifications on always helps us out. All right, so we're on the plank here. So from a plank position, you basically will just come on up and then bring it down. Amazing for core and back. Key with this one is not to go too low when you go down, because you want to stabilize your torso as you do this one. and also not overwork the low back. Feet are sliding a little bit. You want to make sure your feet are set, not sliding. I have these socks that are a little slippery on the surface, but that's okay. All right. Whew. I actually felt that in the quads as much as the core. I lost track there because I was chatting, but let's say we're about that number. So 25, 30 in that range. So that's number one. We'll go back and do it again. All right, nice to see a lot of people on there. Well, a lot for me. Once again, if you guys are here and you have any questions, feel free to pop in the chat. Let me go ahead and we're back. Sorry about the Wi-Fi situation. It seems like it goes in and then sometimes the signal gets lost. So if you're on, you can still see, give me a thumbs up or pop on in. All right, here we go. So we're back to the first one. I'm gonna go ahead and do our push-ups and the raise. Let's do it from this angle here. So push up and raise. Actually, I'll take the socks off so I have a better grip. Here we go. All right. One. And one. Two. And two. Three. Three. Four. Four. Almost halfway here. Five. And five. That's half. You can always adjust if you want to make it tougher by doing a double push-up. It's one way. Or if you have a weight, you can grab it from here, pull it on up instead of just doing, your body weight. So definitely options. In fact, let's do it for these last couple. I'll bring up 15 here. Just a little bit tougher to do the push-up because the dumbbell is kind of in the way. Bring it back nice and controlled. Reach. And reach. Bring it down. Step. And reach. Okay, we got it. So that's a good way to adjust that one. All right, we got some comments. How's it going, everybody? Top of the evening to you, King Nadish. Actually, yes, it's morning here. Might be evening there. Good to see you. How's everything, man? Did I have my cup of joe? Kind of. I got my Molokai coconut with a little bit of BCAA, so that gives me a little bit of a boost. Pretty good. How about you, my friend? How's everything going? And hello to everybody else who's in here. Feel free to give a thumbs up, or if you're new, please subscribe. More of these workouts are coming, definitely since we're hitting summer now. So there'll be a lot of good summer workout tips and hopefully motivation from yours truly. Speaking of, we're back to our lunges. So we're gonna go heavier. This time we got the 25s. So 25s, let's step on back. Get into a good position here. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15. Ooh. 15 there. Quick rest, and then we'll step it on back. Step it on back. Key with this one, finding the right weight. Because if you have strong legs, 12 to 15 reps is not going to be that much with lighter weights. So you want to make sure you're really feeling the muscles here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Definitely felt it. You're gonna feel it on the second one much more. Why? Because both of the legs are involved in the movement. So when you get both of those working that way, when you swap to the opposite side, that first leg is gonna be really burning. All right, so we got the plank coming up. Sorry to hear about your wrist, King Nadish. Have you been doing anything to help work on it? A split squat, the mobility. Okay, yes I can. All right. Oh, and good to see everybody. I see more and more people jumping on. Feel free to say hello, where you're from, and if there's anything that we can focus on. All right, so we're waiting for some, there's some comments I'm doing some isometric work to work the tendons. Yes, so what's your main issue with the split squat and the mobility? Is it something you feel more in the hip? Is it something in the glute? What I always like to do is, from my hip flexor, I would basically do, a little light, don't worry about that. Mobility work like this, where I would extend and stretch. First body weight, and then eventually what you can do is you put a band. I don't have one at the moment, but a band around the upper quad or mid quad. And then that band is pulled, or is connected to something behind you, and then you basically pull that band forward, and it really works and strengthens the hip. And you'll notice that it stretches too. And then you always want to make sure you do both sides. That's definitely the rule of thumb, even if you feel like only one side is affected. And you'll notice that you are actually loosening up in both. So besides this one that we just did, there's also another one where you can basically go kind of thread your hand through as you get more comfortable. So let me show from the front here. So this one's also great for the hips. You would thread your hand through, right? So then I would use my shoulder to kind of drive my hip forward. It's a great stretch, and you would basically just hold this one as you feel comfortable. As you do more, you would kind of inch forward with your foot, stretch more, and just let gravity and your own body weight work in your favor, and opening up that hip and that hip flexor. Obviously, stretching glutes is important, and just general flexibility. Dynamic flexibility too, so having like a bar or something to hold on to, and then doing side leg swings and then forward leg swings, really helps to open up the hips. Great questions though. But yeah, you want to get off of those painkillers if you can. The wrist is challenging because the wrist is such a fragile area on most people, myself included. My wrist, as you can tell, it's not big at all. It's pretty narrow compared to like my dad's. My dad's got this like wrestler wrist, which is huge. So in my case, it's an area that could very easily be damaged. So what I do is I try to strengthen it by doing band work. And you might have seen arm wrestlers also do work like this, where they have a dumbbell. Now this is not something I would say do now, but as your wrist gets better, wrist strengthening where you basically are able to do wrist curls. And what most people don't know is wrist curls in various directions. So not just forward, but backward, and then even side. This kind of, arm wrestlers do this a lot, where they just work, if they're working on their top roll, if they're working on, being able to have different kinds of moves, you need that wrist to be strong in multiple areas. And you can do this with bands, you can do this with weights. Definitely great to strengthen, obviously, after you're healed, because right now it's just more about probably mobility. Well, it might be in a spot where maybe you're not supposed to actually move it around a lot yet anyway. So keep it immobile until you're ready to start to do some mobilization, and then it might be just small movements, nothing crazy. But yeah, hopefully that helps. All right, we're back to our plank. Great questions though, and yeah, I always say that with injuries, it's good to do things, slowly, to make sure that we don't re-aggravate whatever area was there in the first place. All right, so plank position, we'll go up, this time side, side, up, side, side, up, side to side. So we're adding side movements this time, which actually is very helpful for obliques, or basically the sides of your core. Up, side, side. And then sometimes hold that plank for another 5 to 10 seconds to really further challenge the core, and then go back. Now this one you could do for a number, like every time you do a series of these 3, that counts as a rep. You can go up to a certain number, or try to see how long you can do this sequence for, whether it's 2 minutes, whether it's a minute, whether it's 5 minutes. Great way to challenge the core on multiple fronts. One more. Okay, excellent. So those are 3 that we did today. We have our push-up with step over raise. We have our stationary lunges. And then we have this last one, which is the plank. So 3 cool things to do. And some great questions by King Nadish here. Let's see if we got some more questions here. Ooh, your friend was practicing the King's move in arm wrestling and broke his forearm. Ooh. So that's a challenging thing about arm wrestling. It's such an intense sport, especially when you're going all out, that even if technically you know what you're doing, and obviously to do the King's move, you kind of, it's a technical move, right? And for those of you that don't know, I don't have a table here to demonstrate, but the King's move is when you're basically you're trying to prevent your opponent from fully locking out your arm, so you kind of get almost under and behind the table, and you're trying to prevent that by locking your elbow or your arm against the pad, and trying to maintain pressure like this. But obviously it puts a lot of pressure on the body, right? It puts a lot of pressure on the forearm, and in this case it was just a freak accident. But sometimes it might be because maybe something with your friend's arm, something with his anatomy, maybe he wasn't supplementing right, maybe he didn't have enough calcium, or who knows, right? Sometimes it just happens. Other times it could be, okay, he has to eat a little bit better to have stronger bones, or create more work, on those muscles and tendons to create more density and strength there. Who knows? But in any case, I do wish him the best, because forearm breaks are definitely painful. Hopefully he recovers. Peanut butter healthy or not? In general, yes. It depends on what kind of peanut butter. All natural is good. Almond butter is even healthier than peanut butter. But you kind of just look at the ingredients, right? If you look at the ingredients and you see just like 1 or 2, you're probably safe, If you look at the peanut butter label and you see a list, that might be less healthy, if there's a lot of preservatives, a lot of sugar, a lot of other stuff that you don't need. Friendly tip, there are peanut butters that actually also have protein powder added. I believe there's like a P-Fit or Power Fit peanut butter. I used to have that, and I made it with shakes. Very good. you get your peanut butter and you get a bonus. And peanut butter already has protein, but this one actually had like an extra helping of it, and it was tasty. It was like a chocolate peanut butter mix, so I would definitely say yes. But if you have to pick one, I would say almond butter is usually even a healthier choice. Power slap or arm wrestling? Arm wrestling all day. Power slap I've seen, and it's fun. There's a lot of cool clips. I do feel like it's dangerous for the fighters, versus, not that arm wrestling is not dangerous, but that one, I feel like there's a lot more technique involved, and I've really gotten turned on to it by people like Devin Larratt, who's been such an amazing spokesperson for it. I've been watching his videos and I've been kind of learning a lot from watching his stuff, and I love how he's such an ambassador. He'll go to other countries. He went to Japan to do this like special type of arm wrestling where it's almost like you pull each other and you're trying to get the person flat on the table. It's so cool. But yeah, they're both great. All right, so awesome questions, by the way. Hey, any of you, if you're on and you have questions like King Nadish, feel free to please pop them in the chat. I'd love to answer those, or send a thumbs up our way. We definitely appreciate every like, subscribe, and share. Huge for us. So please, and if you get a chance, feel free to reach out to us via our email, completewarriorfitness@gmail.com, which you can find on our YouTube channel as well. For any inquiries as far as classes, one-on-one coaching, we're doing our Get Fit for Summer right now specials, so feel free to message us and see what those are. All right, we have a little bonus here. We had our main 3 exercises. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and do our push-up to elbow plank transition. So I'm gonna go down, and from here, you're gonna try to get a little bit of separation and then pop on up. Go down, go back, separation, and pop on up. Very tough, but it's a great exercise. Down, 3, down, up, 4, down, up, 5, down, 6, woo, felt that one. Whew. Looks like I'm already at my limit. Let's go down. 8, down. One more. Whew. That's a tough one. All right, so we got that one. We have our lower body. We have a few more minutes here. Lower body one is going to be actually one that I think you guys will appreciate. I'm going to try to, from a seated position, we're going to try to jump on up into a standing position. Now, you can do it like this, from the hero pose, and you can also do it from the full Indian lotus pose that I had before, but I'm going to try to do it from here. So, we're going to go ahead and jump on up. I'm going to do 5. So, if you can't do this one, that's fine. You can just stand, prisoner get up, and that's okay too. And then just alternate, so opposite side. So, key with this one, I always like to throw my hands up in the air, give me a little bit of upward momentum. And don't be afraid, because if you feel like you're not gonna make it, you probably won't, or you'll catch a toe on the floor. Also good to have a soft floor. Never do this on a hard floor in case, let's say you don't make it. So I'm gonna start from this position, arms up and up. And then we go back down. Down, up, and 2. Step back down, seated position, arms up, and 3. Last 2, arms up, and 1 more. Arms up, and 5. Also a good one to do and practice in the water. Now, if you're advanced, you can start to do jumps out of the pool, out of the water. But this one is great to work on explosiveness, especially for athletes. Great for explosive hips, quads, and actually engages the core too as you're tightening. So, all right, check my heart rate. It was pretty good, 130. Took him to the Final Destination movie. Devin is such. Wait a minute, you took him to the Final Destination movie? Devin Larratt? Oh, Devin is amazing. If you hang out with Devin Larratt, you better message me. That's pretty awesome. I definitely want to meet that guy. He's so cool. I'd love to be able to just try to see if I can pin him using like my whole body weight, just hanging on his arm, and he'd probably still go whoop. So, all right, we have one last one because I did promise it would be a shorter one today. So this one is going to be for core. This one, we're going to go ahead and lean back, and we've done this one before. So we're going to go ahead and do slow alternated flutters. And you just try to hold this and do these movements. Oh, and there's a light, good. If you're not feeling it, lean back a little bit more. That'll engage the core. And if it's too tough, lean forward. But make sure you're not touching the ground. So if you see my feet, I'm not touching the ground. I'm getting close, but there's no touching. From the side here. One. Arms could be up. If you want to add an upper body component, you can do some light presses. It's almost endless what you can do with that. So, all right, we got that third one in, bonus. Whew, all right. And, oh, we have another warrior entering the chat. S. Nadish. Would you by any chance be related to King Nadish? That would be amazing. If you are, give me a thumbs up. All right, so we're about to finish here. So for review, we had our first full circuit in the beginning, a little bit more, shall I say, of a short workout, but to give you a boost, you know, as you're starting your day. And the last couple here, more of a bonus, in case you need something else. But a great way to work on core work and obviously some of the other stuff that's involved. I would say you want to build up to the jumps. If it's not something you're ready for, remember to do steps. You know, if you know, you're not ready for the jump, do a prisoner get up. As I said, you can do it from a seated position also. Like if you have a chair, start seated and then jump up and then back into the chair. Jump up and then back into the chair. As long as the chair is sturdy, it's a good way to build up those muscles. All right, so anyway, lots of good questions here. Thank you, King Nadish, for being such an awesome participant today. And great questions that I hope will help everybody else that has been kind of lurking in the backgrounds here. Because I was actually seeing a lot of people at one point, but not a lot of comments. So that's okay. Hope you guys have a great start to your day. Let me know if you have any questions about this particular circuit. And, you know, hopefully you're having a great start to your summer. You guys are awesome. King Nadish, have a good one. Have a great evening. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow at around the same time. I'm trying to get more consistent with my streaming, as Coach Wool would say. Yes, King Nadish, I will see you. All right, guys, off to my next adventure here. More tortures coming. See you guys.